Have you ever just felt like your brain is, well, wired a little differently? Today, we're going to dive into what that really means at work. And we're not going to look at it as a challenge, but as a kind of superpower that's just waiting to be unlocked.
So take a look around your team, either in person or on that next video call. Statistically, 1 in every 5 of you is neurodivergent. That means things like ADHD, autism, or dyslexia, they aren't some niche issue. Nope, they're a fundamental part of pretty much every team's dynamic.
And honestly, the best way to wrap your head around this is to think of it like a computer's operating system. It's not a broken system, it's just a different one. It's like having a Mac in a world that was mostly built for PCs. It's not better, it's not worse, it just needs a different approach to run at its full and frankly incredible capacity. And this slide just lays it all out so clearly. On one side, you see these staggering unemployment rates, people afraid to even talk about it at work. But on the other side, whoa, intense hyperfocus, off-the-charts creativity, and real innovation. The problem isn't the brain, it's the total mismatch between that brain and the work environment it's been dropped into. So this is the crucial point, right here. We've got to stop trying to fix the brain and start fixing the setup. So let's explore what that new setup actually looks like. And we have to start with the very basics of brain biology.
All right, our first section is all about recharging the brain, basically fueling your unique operating system. Because look, before we can even get into productivity hacks and all that, we have to get the fundamental needs of the hardware right.
And it all, and I mean all, starts with sleep. For the neurodivergent brain, sleep isn't just about rest. It's the system's main maintenance and repair cycle. Skimping on sleep is like trying to run brand new complex software on a computer that hasn't been shut down in weeks. It directly attacks the brain's executive function center.
And this isn't just a hunch, the data is really stark. A massive percentage of adults with ADHD have a naturally delayed body clock. Their brains just aren't wired to be on at the same time as their neurotypical peers. This isn't a choice, it's just biology. And the performance drop from fighting it is huge.
Okay, next up is fuel. Think of these nutrients as the actual raw materials your brain needs to build the good stuff, the crucial neurotransmitters. Take protein, for instance. It contains tyrosine, which is literally the building block for dopamine. You know, the molecule of focus and motivation. Yeah, that one.
Now, this next idea is a complete game changer. We have to reframe how we think about exercise. It's not just for your body. It's a direct chemical intervention for your brain. It activates the exact same systems that many ADHD medications target.
And as Dr. John Rady says here, exercise literally turns on your brain's executive functions. So that short, brisk walk before a big task, that's not procrastination. No, that's you priming your brain to perform at its best. Now, let's build on this internal stuff and look at our external world.
Okay, so we've covered our internal biology. Now, in this next section, Designing Your World, we're going to focus on building the world around your brain. This is all about creating your personal focus architecture by taking control of your environment.
Let's start with your chronotype. It's a fancy word for something simple, your brain's built-in peak performance window. Forcing yourself to do deep, heavy lifting work when your brain is biologically in a slump, that's not a matter of discipline. It's like trying to drive a car on an empty tank. You're fighting neuroscience, and you're going to lose.
So what do you do?
First, figure out when your brain is naturally the sharpest. Then, do everything in your power to protect that window. I mean, guard it fiercely. Schedule your most important work then. Push back on meetings that try to creep in. This is your golden time.
Next up, your physical space. A neurotypical brain might be able to filter out all the background chatter or visual mess, but for a neurodivergent brain, that sensory input can feel like a tidal wave that just swamps the whole system. So those noise-canceling headphones, they're not a luxury, they're a lifeline. A clean desk isn't just about being tidy, it's about cognitive clarity.
You know, we often think of routines as boring or restrictive, like you're in a cage. But for a brain that can struggle with things like just getting started on a task, the right kind of structure is totally liberating. It's the solid ground you need to launch from.
And that structure can be really simple. A consistent morning launch to cut down on decision fatigue, using short 25-minute focus sprints that actually work with your attention span, not against it. And maybe, most importantly, a clear shutdown ritual to tell your brain, hey, the workday is done now. That's absolutely crucial for rest and recovery.
So far, we've really focused on what you can do as an individual, but the real magic, the real transformation, happens when we apply these principles to the whole team.
This is about unlocking the genius that's already in the room.
I mean, just look at this contrast. On the left, you've got this one-size-fits-all, neurotypical by default system. And on the right, a flexible, collaborative, brain-friendly environment. This shift isn't just about being nice, it's about being effective. It's about getting the absolute best from every single mind on the team.
If you're a manager, this is your playbook. Offer flexibility to line up with people's chronotypes. Communicate with absolute clarity to cut down on the mental energy wasted on guessing games. Provide quiet spaces. And maybe the most important thing of all, create an environment where it feels safe to be different, because that's when you'll see performance really soar.
So we'll end on this question. By shifting our mindset from one of accommodation to one of empowerment, by designing work around how human brains actually work, what incredible creativity, what intense focus, and what game-changing innovation is just sitting there waiting to be unleashed in your organization.